With headlines claiming that America is running out of gas and stations are unable to refuel, well, some Americans are freaking out. We're talking loading up on plastic bags full of gasoline. Seriously, there are photos of it. It's funny, also very stupid, as the gasoline slowly eats away at the plastic and then, well, there's reasons we have specific containers made for gas. Either way, with all the panic, we thought of getting very hypothetical and decided to make a video pertaining to the apparent gas shortage of America. Today on Life's Biggest Questions, we're asking, what if America runs out of gas forever? Make sure to smash that like button or you'll never get to enjoy that beautiful smell of deadly gasoline fumes ever again. Oh, it's just my favorite. I'm just gonna, it's so good. I love it. Gasoline smell. Alright, so let's kick things off with breaking down why Americans are scrambling to gas stations, waiting hours in line, and fearing that they'll never be able to obtain gasoline ever again. Now that may seem extreme, but believe it or not, some Americans in certain states, as gas stations continue to run out of gas, are fearful they genuinely may not be able to get gas for at least the next week. To some, a week without gas doesn't seem all that tough. For others, it's nearly impossible. Of course, it depends on the lifestyle you live and whether or not you enjoy huffing gasoline. Now, on a more serious note, it seems the gasoline shortage in the United States is due to a handful of factors. And this potential shortage would be due to a perfect storm of said factors coming together. Just 2 weeks ago, The Hill wrote an article titled, I quote, "Why Gas Stations Across America Could Run Out of Gas This Summer." They had no idea that 2 weeks later, the Colonial Pipeline would be hacked, causing a potential shutdown and mass panic across numerous states. Like I said, multiple factors, perfect storm. The Hill's article referenced how it wasn't a shortage of actual gasoline, but those who could transport it being available. With the pandemic leading to a handful of early or much needed retirements, as well as a stall on training new drivers, the numbers have dwindled down, leading to a shortage of transport truck drivers specifically for gasoline. And over the weekend of May 7th, sources claim that the Colonial Pipeline Company, responsible for supplying about 45% of the fuel used on the East Coast, fell victim to a cyber attack. The FBI have since blamed what they've referred to as a criminal gang known as Darkside. Oh, okay, so like some Justice League vibes. Nice. Regardless, the attack has led to the company shutting down, which also has people questioning when they'll be operating again. With a pipeline running from Texas to New Jersey, the shutdown is causing serious gas shortages in states such as Virginia, Georgia, North and South Carolina, as well as Florida. Now, although the company hopes to be up and running by the end of the week, it's clear that when there's some sort of reason to fear, Americans panic rather quickly. We saw it with toilet paper, and now we're seeing it with gas. Some people like to be prepared, while others appear to think they need all that's available to survive. Regardless of strategy, I think it's quite evident how important gasoline is for Americans. And if the country were to run out of gas forever, well, that would be very worrisome. That being said, as we've seen in the past, America always finds a way to get what they want. The realistic answer to this question is that they would either rely on other countries or steal it from them. That's the blunt truth. Now, at the end of the day, America already imports a lot of gasoline, so the idea of them importing a lot more isn't so outlandish. However, another angle we could look at is if America didn't have access to gasoline ever again, not from other countries, not from their own land, it simply just wasn't possible. For whatever reason, that would change the country as we know it. Given that we're currently heading towards a much more eco-friendly, green, sustainable, you get it, that whole thing. Electric cars such as Teslas have gained a lot of interest. Of course, Elon Musk has also helped people change their opinions about electric cars, as hybrids, which aren't the same, used to be the butt of a lot of jokes. All in all, it seems the country would become much less dependent on natural resources such as gas, and instead would likely focus on finding alternative electric and solar options to continue on as a society. So I guess other natural resources. To no surprise, for some this would be much easier than for others. The idea of a propane barbecue wouldn't really exist in the US anymore. To think everyone would drive an electric car would be crazy. However, maybe it would encourage more people to walk or potentially bike more places, encouraging a healthier lifestyle. Or maybe they would just use those electric scooters. I feel like that's what would happen. At the end of the day, people think America without gasoline would be the end of the world, but we all know, guys, America runs on Dunkin'. On a more serious note, it seems more likely than not that as a shortage of gasoline appears to be a threat, the leading government would immediately put forth the efforts to make the country more electric or solar dependent. I'd like to think that the professionals would be able to see years in advance whether or not there would be a gasoline shortage. Then again, no one could have predicted this hack or the pandemic, although Bill Gates kind of did predict the pandemic. He said, like, in 5 to 10 years something may happen, which I kind of predicted, a little general, but anyways. Point is, the moment the president would be aware of a potential shortage forever, I like to think they would put forth initiatives to make changes that would help the country adapt in the long term. Whether that means installing more towers or stations and backup generators to sustain the increased amount of energy and electricity likely to be used, or putting forth laws or tax breaks encouraging those to drive electric cars, I like to think those in charge would think for the future. But who knows? Now thankfully this isn't something the country needs to worry about anytime soon, but anything can happen. For now, let's reply to some comments from the video. What if the Umbrella Corporation was real? The Prime creator said it's funny because there is actually a Chinese company that does science stuff that has a similar logo to them. That's a little troublesome. I don't really know. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about the Umbrella Company. I haven't really researched much. That was Keegan's video, but they sound a little sketchy, so I don't know. I don't know. Cal Castano said, I'm owning every gun possible, hitting the gym like crazy, and investing in survival equipment. Well, you should be doing that anyways, to be honest. I'm joking. I mean, you should definitely be hitting the gym. You know, if guns are your thing, if you like guns, get guns. If you can, legally and safely, like if that's the law, then do what you gotta do. And the last part, survival, that's a little extreme, but I mean, again, whatever makes you comfortable. I don't judge. Fox Jake said, what if Raccoon City was a place that's just inhabited by raccoons? So that's interesting because I'm not going to accept that it is anything other than that. Forget the zombies. Resident Evil, out the door. That's what it's from, right? Resident Evil. Forget it. It's all raccoons. But the question is, are they regular raccoons or are they Toronto raccoons? Because if you're from Toronto, you know what a Toronto raccoon is. It's like I keep looking at my window like I think one's going to like look at me, be like staring at me. Toronto raccoons are like a different breed. That's all I'm going to say. That's all for this one, guys. I've been your boy, Jared Pepper Bronstein, Mr. Spicy as you can see, and we'll see you guys soon.